In less than a week of the Godslayer version 4 being released, it went from one cycling chaser with no chain of perfection stacks and no crazy slots, a feat that alone requires 2 times the damage of most builds, to under the exact same restrictions, being able to grip chaser before the ceiling even fell. And by we, I mean none other than the world record holder, and in my opinion, best PvE player in the game, Nebrula. If you want the build used in this video, make sure you check out the showcase or join my Discord to get the stats. And subscribe if you enjoyed this video, because today we are going to go over how to use the best PvE build to fly through layer 2s. And one last thing, I'm buying Astral, so if you get it, make sure to DM me. Anyways, let's jump into how the best PvE player managed to get a 3-minute 19 layer 2 run while one cycle gripping chaser. It's a pretty insane run. As we go along, I'm also going to be explaining how he did all the tech that he does in the run, since there's quite a lot packed into 3 minutes. First, he starts off by using Glacial Arc, then flying up it with Metal Ball. He does this so that he can get the key incredibly fast. As he lands, he casts Ice Skates immediately, allowing him to pick up the key while preparing Ice Skates. Then he goes around the corner to put the key in the door. Already this run is incredibly fast, as by the 24-second mark, the key is in the door. Then he pops Adrenaline Surge for a slight speed boost, and starts to Ice Skate to Bonekeeper. If you have a little less ether than him, you can Metal Ball to that platform he just passed, but since he's wearing ether equipment over DVM gear, that means he can Ice Skate way further. Ice Skate is a must-have mantra for navigation. Anyways, he's just arrived at Bonekeeper before the minute mark, and you're just gonna have to watch for yourself to see how fast this Bonekeeper kill is. And Bonekeeper is dead in a mere 5 seconds, which is pretty crazy. And that kill time can get way lower, depending on where he spawns. Anyways, generator's on before the minute 20 mark, and now he's ice skating to Founder's Nest, because he's going to do a skip that allows him to not have to talk to Sheath, and lets him get the chaser way faster. Keep in mind that he's using a Petra's Anchor throughout this whole run, just so he has even more mobility. That on top of Ice Skates and Metal Ball allows him to traverse terrain incredibly fast. Now he'll begin ice skating across the void yet again, and we're going to go out of bounds for a second to spawn the Bounders in. This tech is kind of hard to do. Essentially, you just Glacial Arc, climb up to a certain spot, then fall down to spawn the Bounders. Then you can use that same Glacial Arc to get incredible height. Now, as you saw when he was falling down, he began to use Ice Skates in order to get over any invisible barriers. Then we're gonna start to pop all the buffs that we need for Chaser. He's gonna start by eating gold, this will give him a 10% damage boost. As you can see, he also has a strength buff from food. Now he'll use Metal Almond and Ice Skates, and then Auto Scream once he's at full ether. I'll let this clip play out, then explain it. Alright, so let's explain what you just saw there. He first started by applying all the damage buffs he can. Then he needed to auto scream and re-enable auto. Using the Rending Impact and Bulldozer talent, if he gets the angle just right on the flourish, he can apply knockdown to Chaser. This is incredibly important for what I call zero cycle tech. If you look at the amount of times he hits Chaser in this short period, Nebrula has basically built up max chain stacks before the fight has even really started. Not to mention, he's already got Chaser to just below half, since he used the 2 most powerful mantras on the build. The tech can be sort of hard to pull off, but once you master it, you can get insane damage on Chaser. Alright, now let's continue with the run. From here on out, it's pretty simple. He just gotta dodge Chaser's attacks and try to not get hit himself. That's easier said than done on some attacks, as stuff like the ceiling attack can easily hit you if you're not prepared. Now you pop all our damage buffs and go in to kill Chaser. And as you can see, Chaser was knocked before the ceiling even fell, and he could grip him. And that is how you get a sub 3 minute and 20 second layer 2 time. If Nabrulo decided to trade out Corrupt Crazy slots, the bell he has, for Reaper, he could even grip Chaser faster, which I guess is something he's gonna have to do if he wants to break the 3 minute barrier, which I'm sure will happen considering just how good this PvE build has been so early on in its life. Now let's quickly summarize everything we've covered in this run. You'll want to know the layer 2 map well enough and have some good ether through ether gear so you can ice skate across the map going to and from Bonekeeper as well as across the void to spawn bounders. And speaking of spawning bounders, you need to glacial arc up, climb a few segments, then fall down this spot in the wall. Then when it comes to Chaser, you want to auto scream as well as have the auto murmur active. Then on your flourish, you want to spine cut a Chaser. This will allow you to knock him down. Then you want to use Warden's Blades, M1, Ice Fuse, Parry, and M1. That combination of moves can be sort of hard to pull off, but as you saw, it is definitely worth it if you're gripping Chaser from it. There may be a lot of learning in using this PvE build to its fullest potential, but remember, even if you're not doing all the complicated chaser tech, you can still one cycle incredibly easily. Anyways, with this run that Nabrulo got, he would easily get world record in the no major glitches category of layer 2 if he submitted it. Speaking of, you should consider running in this category, as it's pretty new and you can get top times very easily for now. But if all of what I've shown you today doesn't convince you that this is the best PvE build in the game, then I guess this build will just have to get even stronger, as I don't plan to stop using this PvE build anytime soon. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, join the Discord for the build, and check out some more PvE content. And I'll see you all next time.